Testing sound. All right. So I have a whole big bunch of stuff up here because I've been spending a whole big bunch of time trying to understand how C++ module support works these days. And none of the papers and stuff that I'm reading, none of the documentation that I'm reading is accurate. This actually happens to be for something completely different. It's about installing Arch. Because that's another thing that I wish to do on my systems. I wish to install Arch, but I have a working system and I don't want to have to erase any file systems or format anything or anything like that. So trying to figure out what I need to do in order to do this, the install the way I want it to do, which should be eminently possible with the way Arch works. My partitioning scheme is ridiculously complicated. It's not the most complicated in the world I've seen. There are enterprise systems that I have seen that have much worse or much more complicated partitioning schemes. This one, though, I'm using 4 different file systems, because there's FAT, there's BTRFS, there's Bcachefs, there's ext4. I'm using them all, and the FAT one, though, is only because that's what you have to do with EFI, because, yeah, annoyances with motherboards. But yes, other than that, the ext4 is for the /boot partition, BTRFS is for almost everything else. Bcachefs is what I'm using right now for games because I want to use it as an experiment. Also, it has this idea of caching, and so it will actually cache things on a local NVMe, which is what I want to do with games. Games should be loading fast. I have a couple of nice NVMe's to make them load fast. And then I have tons of spinning disk storage for actual storage of the assets that aren't needed in the moment. So, yeah. Anyway, what have I been looking at? I've been looking at GCC. And a very specific feature in GCC, which is implemented by something called libcody, which this hasn't been touched in forever and is probably not relevant anymore. But it just so happens that libcody is, in fact, I need to re-sign in to, I need to sign into GitHub on this browser. I don't really need to, but it would be nice. Libcody has actually been folded into the GCC tree. And so that's probably the version I should be looking at. So I'm going to skip out on this. And then here is a description of this protocol. There's this if we go here, there's no, that's not the right one. Here. No, this isn't the right one either. There we go. That's the right one. So this thing, module mapper. Yeah. It needs to be _1 _1. I don't know how that disappeared, but module mapper, as it's compiling modules, then sends messages to the programs that are running. And here's where it's sending the messages to. So I do it for the top, and then I get, where's my module repo? Well, I'm supposed to me typing. That's the name of this thing. And the module repo is in GCM cache. Semicolon indicates, semicolon carriage return indicates that this is not the last response in this bundle, and that there's a further response in this bundle. And this is basically saying there's a module cache directory named GCM cache. And then it's asking me, oh, while I was doing it, I encountered this. And this thing says there's various bits that say I should be responding like true to this, but that's not the right response. And I don't know what the right response is. So what I need to do here is, I don't need this anymore. Oh, actually, I can just exit this. So here in libcody, which is now, this is part of the GCC development tree. Can't prove that because this is my copy for Mercurial, because I prefer using Mercurial to Git. But this is the GCC tree. Now, what I'm going to do here, oh yes, stupid old Red Hat does not like fgrep anymore, and it's so stupid. So we're going to search for, where does this this whole, oh, actually, let's look for this. Where does include translate occur here in libcody? Right? And here there's a README that talks about it, but the README is wrong. Right? This is not what happens anymore, because it says blah, 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 and then it says a bool response. Okay, I did give a bool response, or at least this is what I think is a bool response. Does it have some idea of what a bool is supposed to mean? Yeah, true or false, right? Oh, I say bool space true. Okay, so what happens if I do bool space true? Oh, well, that worked. Okay. So, so what does include dash translate mean? This is just in case you actually want to use a module instead of a header file, which I don't know why exactly you would want to do that precisely. Now, there are include imports, like you can do import and then put in something in angle brackets, but I don't sure how that shows up, and that's probably not something you should be doing anyway. That seems like a really, after examining how modules work, that just seems like a very fragile thing to be doing, and so probably shouldn't do that. But so it's saying, I found your header, it's here. And then, so then you're supposed to say, yes, I want to do a textual inclusion like include is supposed to do. Or you give a CMI of basically a module interface file that that the thing should be loading instead of doing the textual inclusion. Yeah. So that's what we're doing here. And we're getting lots of these include translates. So we're just going to be pasting the bool true till we stop getting them. Because when you include IOStream, it includes a lot of stuff, which is the whole reason why modules are a thing anyway, because basically these include trees get to be insane. Whee! Wow, who knew including IOStream would result in all of this? Are we getting toward the end? Well, including erno.h gives a whole ton of stuff too. Whee! So annoying. Okay. Oh, now we're doing stuff about character types and the templates and just it's and locale facets. It's just insane. Okay. Now I say bool true for module export top. Now, is that actually what I want for the module export? Okay, so bool true is probably the wrong answer here. And in fact, yes, that was the wrong answer to give. So I can redo this. Now I redo this part here, right? And then I redo all the bool trues except for the very last one, because that was the step too far. Blah. So I can't do that. Grrr. Okay. So how many bool trues is that? So we don't want this one. So I know how many times to hit the button. Okay. So that was 185 bool trues. That's a lot of hitting the button. I don't know that this is the right way to go about doing things. So why do I care? I care. Um, I need to know what the right answer is to this module export because I want to write this Python thing that does this. Uh, but you know, I can just do a bunch of special case stuff in here. So here, we'll process this command bundle. Okay. what happens if I don't provide anything here? That's what happens. Okay. That's not the right one. So what is the proper response to the module repo command? That's the proper response right there. Well, that's very interesting. Writer.write is not async. So properties and drain. How do I tell which of these is actually async and which isn't? Oh, I see. Okay, that's the right answer. And we don't need to update the state. Oh, yes, this does also have a proper response. Oh, come on. Annoying JetBrains. Um, there. And actually, we'll do that. Now, this is hard coding a value in here, right? GCM cache should be something that we get from outside someplace, but that's all right. An output bundle will be list of stir, not a list of bytes. And no, not backslash n. So we'll add the backslash n by hand. All right. Now this doesn't even have to be async at this point. Um, there. There. Now it doesn't even have to be async. It can just be like this. Oh, that's because this needs to be a comma. There we go. That's better. I am feeling really tired, and nobody's shown up. I think that I am going to stop the stream for today because I am feeling a little too tired to